Welcome to Blink 155, the internet's first Blink 182 podcast. I'm joined, can I do these bits? For the first time, because I like this one more.
Oh, you like this one more?
Yeah, because it doesn't seem as cruel.
To pretend it's the first episode every week. Well, then I realized after we did it last week, I realized it's kind of just a ripoff of E1, so.
Oh. Well, welcome,
way to go.
Welcome to the to just like a middling
the second episode.
Oh, that's interesting. So
I haven't let you get through the intro in so long, so I thought I would let you do it. So I'm glad. It's nice to hear you say the welcome voice again.
Yeah, well, I want you to know that you are always welcome, whether you hear the voice or not. And I mean that to both Josiah and our listeners, sometimes called the Nation. Or Nate.
They are all. Sam wants you to know you're all welcome. DM him at all hours.
Yeah.
I'll give you his phone number if you want. I'll give you his personal email. Find him on LinkedIn. I can tell you his address. I mean, he's around and he's available and he's not going into the office. So Sam is here for you in every way.
It's true. Before I wasn't, but now everything that Josiah said is a fact. I had somebody.
You've got no excuse.
I had somebody call me. This was like maybe last weekend. This is like the most I've ever felt like I was in like a horror movie. Call me, and then message me just like hey, why aren't you picking up your phone? Like a sort of question mark or something. And then message me on WhatsApp with the same thing. And it was never like, hey, I got a new number. This is Dave. It was just like kind of relentless on multiple platforms. And I just never responded. I'm terrified.
So you don't know who it was?
No, I don't. I have no idea because they never explained themselves. They said, "Hey, I need to talk to you. Why don't you call me back?" I guess
and you're too
now that I'm
polite.
verbalizing it, it sounds like a textbook wrong number situation.
Right, and also if you ever get the wrong number text and you don't sort of use that for maximum comedic effect, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you got to do that too.
No, sorry. Now it was weirder than that. Now I remember. No, the person called me and then texted me and wrote, "Hello, is this Sam?" Yeah, I felt like I was like, as I'm describing it, I was like, why was I weirded out by this? So they called me. I didn't pick up. They wrote, "Hello, this is Sam." And then they messaged me only a question mark on WhatsApp. That's weird, right?
How do you know it's the same person?
Because it's the phone number shows up in WhatsApp if you don't, like most people's WhatsApp IDs are tied to their phone numbers.
WhatsApp with that. I never used WhatsApp before. I'm not
You don't have international friends? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I talk to people on GChat, which I think is pretty old school.
Oh, GChat is like extremely us showing our age.
Yeah.
And I only use GChat to talk to you, Ashley, and Aaron Zorgel. And that's it. Those are my only GChat conversations.
Well, that's all you really need.
Those are important relationships and very important chats to me.
I'm sorry if I've already said this on here, but one time in Calgary, we had gotten our neighbor's phone number, but I never bothered like saving it into my phone because I just couldn't be arsed, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And so I just didn't do it. And then one night I got a text that was like, it was like her and someone else. Well, I guess I'm telling the story wrong, but I got this random text and I didn't know who it was from. And it was like, "Hey, should we eat now or should we eat at the party?" And it was me and two other people. And so I was like, "Oh, I'm stuffed, but I definitely have room for more." And then it was like, "Hey, Josiah, it's Kim, your neighbor." Just kind of like immediately not only deflated, but someone I had to see every day.
Wow.
Saw me trying to do a shit. Just those moments where like shit posting connects with real life are really kind of sobering for about 35 seconds.
And is that why you've extracted yourself from real life as much as possible? Just
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not worth it, the emotional toil. But one place where I chat a lot also now is...
Yeah? Where do you
this
chat,
is actually
Josiah?
really great. We haven't really talked about pod magic in a while, but there's a little bit of pod magic that happened in the last week or so. And one place that I chat is on Twitter, and I'm not leading up to the song name, so just calm down, okay? I can tell. Sometimes I can tell when you start perking up, and I don't want you to be connecting threads in your brain that shouldn't be connected.
I thought it was too early.
Yeah, it's too. I'm just trying to.
You might hit a plateau and then go, "What else is there? What else is there?" I can picture that happening this episode, but I know you're not about to do the song intro 5 minutes in.
I could.
I mean,
what if I did? Then what if I did?
I dare you.
Okay. Another Girl, Another Planet.
Oh,
There.
what? Fuck. Unprecedented.
But I'm going to keep talking
Yeah,
still.
that's fine.
Here.
I'm just, I'm amazed.
But now it's interesting because as soon as we do this, then now everything we say is sort of part of the official review of the song.
Exactly, yeah.
But if it's before the song is named, then none of that stuff counts. But now we're like, now it counts.
Yeah, this matters. Beforehand is just like,
Fuck.
it's just...
Now I regret doing this.
Yeah, this is all of a sudden this story is canon. So make it count, man. This has to be as good as like, Long John's.
Okay.
This has to be
It's
an
not as good as
iconic
that.
story that you also are not sure if you've already said before on the pod.
This one I definitely haven't because it's brand new. It's brand new pod magic that happened this week.
Okay, tight.
So last week we talked about the band Screeching Weasel, right? That band we talked about.
We did.
We talked about how humorous the lineup was over the years. All the funny names of people that have joined, like Bill Billingsley, or no, I'm just kidding.
They were all
there's
like Nate, the personality, Jordan,
yeah, or like John Cheese or something.
Yeah.
The dumbest shit ever.
Chris Fart.
Well, someone who's currently in the lineup of Screeching Weasel is named. Can't remember right now because it's showing their real name on what I have.
Now
open.
it feels like a song. Now it feels like an intro. You're like, so remember. So we were talking about Screeching Weasel names, and then recently I met a person with the nuttiest punk they've ever heard. Another. I was like, what?
No, there's a guy named Mike Hunchback who's in Screeching Weasel right now.
Tight.
Now, this fella, Mike Hunchback, also plays in a band that I'm sure you know. We've all seen them around over the years, but they're called Nightbirds, that band.
Oh,
they're like
yeah.
kind of like, sort of, I think they're like 80s hardcore mixed with surf or something. It's interesting like
Yeah,
that.
in my mind, they're that, but then also somehow like a fest band. Like they are.
Yeah, exactly. They kind of have like filled in every area of punk, including kind of this strange gap that was missing in pod magic this week. So this fella, Mike Hunchback from Screeching Weasel, he plays in Nightbirds with another fella named PJ Russo. And PJ Russo just happens to be friends with our dear beloved philosopher of the pod, Fiona.
Oh.
So they're friends, okay?
Okay.
So PJ is friends with Fiona.
Yeah.
And PJ said to Fiona, our dear philosopher, listener, friend, and cult member of the nation, PJ said to her, "Hey, I think you're always talking about this. I actually just joined this band, even though they're not from." Sorry, I'm hedging for a second. I just joined this band.
You have to be doing an intro right now. This says such like you've got notes, you've got charts that show how you're going to sort of.
It is. It's all very connected in a very interesting way. So we've gone from Screeching Weasel to Mike Hunchback to PJ, whatever I said his name is. He says to Fiona, "I always see you talking about this, so I thought you might be interested. I've just moved overseas and joined this band, and we have a new song. If you've got Watch Together open." They put this intro from the movies at the start. But I don't know if you can see the title. This band that he's in now is called Private Function. They're based in Australia, and they have a new song called Albury Wodonga. So there's literally like this week, this banger came out about Wodonga.
What?
So I'm just going to turn it down a little bit while we talk about this. Something Maddie never explained to us before is that Albury is kind of like the Shelbyville to Wodonga's Springfield, I think.
Oh, interesting.
Or maybe
he's
vice
avoided
versa.
this conflict for so long.
Yeah, but it's kind of a Twin City thing. Maybe that's why the mayor wasn't getting back to me, the mayor of Wodonga. But yeah, so there's this new anthem.
Bangs. The chorus is great. The harps. I love it.
It's pretty sick.
It's like weird. It's like very like rock and roll Jello Biafra, like high vibrato delivery. So sick.
I'm kind of mad that someone from The Nation didn't write a song about Wodonga first, but I am happy that it's only like 1 degree of separation from The Nation that wrote a song about
but
Wodonga.
it feels more pod magic-y that way. Now, like, is this because they love Albury Wodonga? What is did you get at least some backstory on this sick
Well,
liquor?
I'm not actually quite done with the pod magic yet. So, this week also some things have happened. For example, what's the fucking guy's name? Gandolfini from The Sopranos revealed that he loved Dookie. And he came from beyond the grave. There was like these quotes from him, from the other guy. I've never seen The Sopranos. I don't watch that kind of thing. But the other guy from The Sopranos was like, yeah, he fucking loved Dookie. He like named his dog Dookie and all this stuff. And I was just thinking like,
it was like he listened to the vinyl in his trailer on set.
Yeah,
this is a very serious audiophile. Wanted to hear all those walking bass lines.
But as soon as that news broke, I was like, fuck, this is going to be the story that I'm sent for the rest of my life. Because it's one of those things, it's like too perfect that I'm just going to be tormented by receiving the link to this forever. And it hasn't been happening as much as I expected, but I still think that's going to be one that follows me forever. Someone's going to say, did you see this? Like every Sunny Side Up meme of I miss the old Blink-182 is just in every inbox I own. Probably on LinkedIn, someone has sent me that. But the funny thing is, Maddie Rendell now throughout the night, every night. So Maddie Rendell, if you're somehow have understood everything we've said so far except for this, he lives in Wodonga. He's the official Wodonga correspondent of the pod / our Indonesia expert.
Every pod needs both of those positions filled for us to recognize them as legitimate. By the way.
But poor Maddie Rendell can't even like get through the night of sleep without his phone blowing up with 1 million people from around the world sending him this music video. So it's like it's become a huge thing where it like never stops, where he's hearing about this fucking thing, and it's one of those things where like Wodonga is clearly such a small place that they really are acting, I would say, somewhat Canadian about this, in the sense that the fact that some like, I would assume, medium to small tier garage band has written a song about them. It was literally on the news.
Oh my God.
Literally, so I'm just, now I had it loaded before, but I'm just trying to get this to work. Maybe this will work. Okay, here we go. And also, Australian news like literally looks like it's from like 1996. Like this.
What?
So
Jesus Christ!
Taliban has released a new love song dedicated to Albury Wodonga. A private function hit the road straight after the first round of lockdown to film the video for their newest release. Band members say stopping on the border is the highlight of any road trip.
We're on the road a lot, at least we were before all this. Yeah, driving to Sydney, pretty much anywhere north, you've got to go through Albury Wodonga. So, we always stop there, get lunch, enjoy the sights.
The band says they can't wait to get back to the border and perform Albury Wodonga for locals. It's a great place to be. Let's check.
Okay, wait. What do you mean it's the border? Like it's a continental country, right?
It's. Oh yeah, it's like, I guess it's the
it's a
border of
state
New
border?
South.
Like,
The border of New South Wales and Victoria.
I'm just trying to imagine driving to Montreal and being like, gotta stop at the Quebec-Ontario border. Want to make sure that the experience of straddling the Great Line between these two fine provinces.
I think people really do. The difference between Ottawa and Hull. In fact, there's a famous garage song about Hull. But yeah, so it's making me think that if it's like a stop on a road trip, this is like the Red Deer. Maybe Wodonga is like a real Red Deer kind of place.
Oh, what if it's like Hull? Or what if it's like Ottawa, which is worse, actually?
I don't know.
I guess Ottawa?
All I know is I think while this song is great, if anyone else feels an inspiration hit, maybe we should write some more songs about Wodonga. We could get on the news over there.
Yeah. Just like a date. Eventually they like are begging people to stop.
It's just so many songs about
Too
Wodonga.
many garage rock songs about Wodonga.
I tried so hard to get the mayor of Wodonga on the pod, and I just had to give up.
I cannot believe that
some,
jerk refused.
Some people, the fucking nerve of them.
It's obscene. Just obscene, Josiah, is how I feel about it. The song's good. How popular or unpopular is that band to get on the private function band?
Yeah, you gotta add band, otherwise you're gonna be searching some real nasty shit.
Whoa.
Their new album's called Whose Line Is It Anyways? That's a pretty good name for an album. You think it's like do you think you mean it like a cocaine thing? Like it's like a
you could have some real fun with your artwork. It looks like NME wrote a song about this song.
They wrote a song about the song. That's what Maddie Rendell should do, is write a song about this song and how it's like following him. I just saw he updated his Facebook cover photo with the old Albury Wodonga like banner like just like 5 minutes ago, and somebody recommended he check out the song in the comments already. It's so good.
So you're just happy. So you bring up the Dookie thing just to say that others must suffer as you have suffered.
Yeah, it's just comforting to see it happen, not just to me, but that now for the rest of his life, poor Maddie Rendell's going to be told about this Albury Wodonga song.
Like, at least with your things that people send you, they're like related to interests that you've sort of expressed publicly. Like, this is literally just like, here's the place that you live, man. So it's like you need to know even less about someone.
It's true. Wait, there's there's also a Jucifer song called Albury Wodonga?
Hold on. What the fuck?
Is Albury Wodonga like popping off?
Apparently, we don't know. We don't understand. Just the idea of, did we say like the key on this was a border loving band? So again, I get that the Ottawa Hull border is a deal, but it's mostly a deal for like Anglophones to go over and be able to drink a year earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not, no one else cares about that border. You only care about it if you're 18.
Well, okay, this Jucifer song is 5 minutes long. Maybe we're going to need more people to write Albury Wodonga songs. And
it seems like a lot of people have. Can we at least hear the beginning of this?
I think, I don't know. Okay, let's see. I don't know if I don't know if it's Watch Togetherable.
Damn. It's not big enough that they didn't make a music video for it where they just road trip around Australia and enjoy the sights and sounds of the border.
Never mind. But the other one did pop up when I just searched this, because that one's gunning for the top spot. I feel like Jucifer is a band that maybe you would like. Is this like are they like heavy?
I just have always hated the name so much. And I never knew if this was the band that Maynard from Tool was in. Or if there was like another band that was like this
isn't
name.
his band called Pussifer?
Yeah, that's it. I just hate both those names so much.
Oh, this one sounds nice.
This feels like more Josiah.
Yeah, it kind of does. Sounds pretty good. So anyways, I forget why we're here, what we're talking about. All I know is that Albury Wodonga is the most important place on earth right now.
Well, these have all been important steps leading us to today's episode. Of course, I'm talking about covering Blink-182's cover of Albury Wodonga by the band Jucifer.
Oh, this is just 5 minutes of this. Is this a different Jucifer than the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing too, but like I have no... Yeah, they're like a sludge band.
Wow. Yeah. No, this is a different Jucifer.
Or maybe they're just like being...
This band's from Sydney, and they're like a garage punk band. That's why. I thought it was going to be the sludge band too, but no, this Jucifer sounds a lot better. Kind of that nice lo-fi feel. So anyways, let's talk about another. So anyways,
we're talking about the song.
If you follow somebody who lives in Albury, and you happen to live in Wodonga, you must be a fucking. I already said it, so
it's fine. Another Girl, Another Planet a cover of The Only Ones' 19 classic by the band Blink-182 from their greatest hits collection, released in 2005. Josiah, tell me about your relationship.
I want you to go first. And also,
I've
I
never
feel
heard this fucking song. Because,
the
also
Blink
thought-
one too.
Yeah, I didn't know the original because I'm a poser. And I had never heard this cover. I also assumed...
I just want you to know it's big time poser week. Like, there's so much poserness coming up. Everyone, if you're listening and you've made it this far and you are taken aback when we say things that seem poserish because you still think that we're playing the 22-year-old game of pretending to know about stuff.
Yeah.
You're in for a real roller coaster of poserdom this week.
Yes, that's very exciting. So, to kick us off here in Poser season, never heard the song before. Literally, only know the name know the Only Ones because this has been in a list for 3 years to do this cover, and I just assumed that this was a cover from an early era of the band, and I also assumed because of the name of the song that in my mind it was just going to sound like a Rosillo's song, and this was going to be sort of from the kind of Dancing with Myself, Screeching Weasel, maybe pre-major label era of this band. So when it started, I was so fucking confused by how it sounded, and it turns out that it's an insanely decent cover. I liked listening to it. I listened to it 3 times in a row. And of course the original is fucking incredible, and I'm a huge poser. And that's sort of where I'm at. But
yeah.
Did you know this song? Because obviously you or I've never opened up the greatest hits collection. I had no idea that this is where this lived.
I had heard it, I think, because I've even before, and I would like to add again, patreon.com/Blink155, please. Our families need to eat. Just kidding. But on there, that we've been watching Meet the Barkers, and I also watched Meet the Barkers when it first aired, and this was the theme song of that show. So that's part of why I know it. And I always thought it sounded pretty sick, and it almost sounded too good to be a Blink song.
Yeah, okay.
But then right before we moved, we had such a shitty beater of a car, and I hated how all the cars I could afford for the last 10 years. I love not having a car now, but all the ones I could afford would never have they were slightly too good and running to have a tape deck, but not good enough to have Bluetooth. So I was always in that CD zone where I was I'm not going to fucking install a stereo and then have my wheels literally fall off. You know what I mean?
Or you got to get the little FM transmitter.
Yeah, and those never work. And then you pull up
they're
beside
so
someone
finicky.
and you hear their music instead.
I love it. It's a real adventure.
It's complete chaos. So I actually started burning CDs again 2 years ago.
Oh, fuck
and
yeah.
B, I would go to London Drugs and buy things from the discount bin, and one of them was the greatest hits. Right at the start of the pod, I was blaring the greatest hits in the car. So I started to love that song, and I really did love the Blink version until I started listening to the Only Ones version with headphones, and it's so unbelievably sick. It is so good. The playing is so good because it sounds like a punk song, except everyone's so sick at their instruments and so tasty and doing all these cool things. Everyone's working so hard. We got to listen to the original, even though it's going to get us in trouble. But
who fucking cares? It is, yeah. So I listened to it as well, and it's because I was only listening to it on headphones. It's so fucking great.
It's so cool.
Really, really great.
The drums are unbelievable. I love in the intro here. There's and I'm going to give it away. The bassist of the band is on the episode this week, and he tells us all about how they recorded it. We'll learn a lot about the history of the song later on, but it is just it's basically a demo that they could never recreate. So that's why it just sounds so kind of lo-fi and jangly and just kind of magical. It's just so magical.
That the reverb on the amp, that blink, just the way it fucking sounds is so goofy raw, honest, just fucking around raw. But then the way it kind of opens up, it's just unbelievably fucking good.
And there's at that part too, there's just these kind of random bass chords that he hits that don't really hit at the right time in a way. So it's just kind of completely I just want to lean on that music writer word, shambolic. even though no one knows what it means.
But it
I think
is
it's
though.
kind
Like
of
from
the
time to time,
angular
music
thing.
writers get shit right.
Exactly. But yeah, so let's just listen to this. It's unbelievable. It's so much better than the Blink version, unfortunately.
Also, the guitar tone like reminds me a little of like Life's a Riot with Spy vs. Spy era Billy Bragg, which I am tremendously here for.
The backmasked drums, I think. And then the lead is just unbelievable. Like you feel like you're in a movie.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in like a late 70s movie about a kid who leaves a small town to go to a college in London and gets corrupted.
I feel like it's a 90s movie about the 70s. Like it makes me feel like I'm in a Linklater movie, but in a very good way.
Right, yeah. Like everything sounds like it's falling apart, but it's because they're playing with like simultaneously so loose and so tight at the same time.
Because it's that like super like behind the beat like laconic vocal delivery, and then when it locks in here in the chorus, it's like so apparent that they know exactly what they're fucking doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Another girl, another planet, another girl, another baby.
And it kind of like all the guitar leads are obviously perfect, but also sound a little bit like they're being made up as they go along in the best way.
Yeah. Because they're so sick, but it's not like all swagger, you know? Like there's this like weird tentativeness to it.
Totally.
Space travels in my blood. There ain't nothing I can do about it. Long journeys wear me out, but I know I can't live without it. I know I think I'm on another world with you. With you. I'm on another planet.
That delivery is insane.
Just so rolling into it.
Who's loving you now? Another planet. Who's holding you down? Another planet.
Oh my god.
It's so ridiculously good. So like, I feel like it seems kind of blasphemous even that Blink would have done this song in a way. Like it just, while I do like their version, they should have done it with a song that like sucked to begin with instead of a song.
Yeah, but like what cover is, you know, not of a great song?
It's
A
true.
good cover. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think.
Can you
There
name like a
definitely
great
are.
cover that you think like elevates a song that was not good to start?
I mean, they definitely exist, but I can't think of one off the top of my head necessarily. But I know that definitely our listeners will know some. That it has to exist, but usually it's like maybe a lesser known song or like a cheesy song.
Yeah, it's always
But
like when
instead-
someone sort of takes. Well, I mean, look, like the Leonard Cohen version of Hallelujah, to use the most covered song of all time, is like the worst version of that song.
Right, or like what's the Atari's one? That's better than the.
Oh, then the Don Henley version?
Maybe not. Maybe that's wrong.
I'm literally like looking up a list. I'm like, oh yeah, the Patti Smith version of Because the Night is better than the Springsteen version.
I think there's like 60 versions of Hinder's Lips of an Angel that are better than the original.
Oh no! See, those are all spectacular in their own way, but you can't improve on perfection like that.
I don't know. I think it's weird to hear something so loose and cool and like the audio equivalent of a cigarette, and then to have Blink-182 do this like uptight squeaky clean pop punk version. And the thing is, their version still does cut through with some of that coolness, and it's even interesting to hear like a clean guitar tone on a Blink song, which they only stick with for a little bit. But I mean, there's some elements of it that are cool, but I don't know. It's just kind of perfect. It's like a perfect thing that they did. I'm thankful that they did it, but I just like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's what you said is extremely accurate, which is that they took a really great song, they did a perfectly serviceable cover of it, but they made it so that it could be the intro song for a reality TV show. Yeah. So they just like that song, like what is so compelling about it, and again, like so did you? I guess you kind of explained it. I feel so fucking stupid for not being familiar with this before we started.
I definitely had a phase where
a lifetime ago, you know,
when I was younger, with a hunger for knowledge. I remember I remember really wanting to become a guy who was like into all of the building blocks of punk and of like just music in general, and wanting to be a guy who was like an expert on everything. And so I would ask people I knew who were record collectors, and I asked this guy Norm that used to be in Beelines and also secretly was in Go It Alone as well, but he's kind of like a punk guy who moved deeper and deeper into the world of like soul 45s and power pop and stuff. So I asked him to recommend a bunch of stuff, and I think I still probably have it on my hard drive of like just like hundreds and hundreds of power pop bangers. And I did like them, but I think I just like had too much ADD, and it was too much content at once to be able to like dig into it. And I've just never been able to like I feel like people who collect like soul 45s or early R&B records are able to like put on a song and instantly be like, oh, it has so much feeling, and this song just fucking kicks ass. And I just can't do it for whatever reason. I'm too obsessed with context and like merch and like the mall to be able to do that stuff. But I did kind of try to get into this stuff. Even like the single art for The Only Ones is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, and like is everything I love aesthetically. Like everything about this is,
oh my god,
it's like so cool. So yeah, I don't know. It's just annoying to know that if I had it all in front of me, and I've been around people who've been into cool stuff like this my whole life, but I just for whatever reason couldn't focus enough to like parse what was good, and instead just listen to like Dat Piff or whatever back then.
I mean, it sounds great.
Yeah.
Maybe, if you're looking for some great music, you could really check out this list that I'm reading of cover songs that are better than the original, which really starts to go off the rails when it says that the Chili Peppers version of Higher Ground is better than Stevie Wonder's. And then it feels like it just becomes a list of, like, covers. So, like, Satisfaction by Devo is better than the Stones version. I Want Candy by Bow Wow is better than the Strangeloves version. And so on, etc. From there. I Shot the Sheriff by Eric Clapton is better than the Marley version. All true. All totally true. So those are some of the iconic covers like Blink's that improve.
Maybe there are some pop punk ones that are better. Like what's the Mustard Plug one that they did?
The Freshman?
Yeah.
No, because the original Freshman is like fucking perfect, but it sure. I mean, I get.
I mean,
I
that's
get
the
kind
thing
of what you're
too.
saying.
It gets really confusing for me because I'm not being ironic with my taste, but then when we talk about a song like this, like I do see that it's objectively better than the things that I love. Do you know what I mean? Like that's why I think maybe guilty pleasures still do exist, even though we've been saying they don't for all these years. Like I think this song by The Only Ones is better than any Blink-182 song ever written or ever will be written. But I still love listening to Blink-182.
Yeah, because it's all. I mean, I also don't think they like exist on the same spectrum. Like, I think comparing this like, what year is the original from?
It's from I think 78.
Yeah, so like this sort of like in the moment power pop song versus like I think if you like what is the perfect Blink song? Is it just also a continuation of this? Because the things that we like about, and this is where I think you get into really dangerous territory, because all of the stuff that is good about the original Only Ones version, if a band did that today, it would be so fucking pretentious. There are bands who do this shit, and it's like it's annoying. You know,
I think
Because,
it's good. I still think it's good, but yeah, I
Sure,
know.
but it's like, but it's you want to talk about like fucking poser season, like to act like it's still the '70s in the year of our Lord 2020 is like also pose dog shit. Like
Yeah.
you just can't fucking win anymore.
no,
And so
everyone's
I
a
don't-
poser for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know that it makes sense to like beat yourself up for listening to things that you personally like because context has changed so dramatically. Like I think if you were in the 70s and you didn't like this, you'd be a piece of shit. You know?
It's true.
But like now, I mean, what do people even want from you anymore? The
It's
world
true.
is too intense.
Too confusing, but I will say there is a lot of Blink-182 in this song. It has the same chord progression that they always use, the golden 4 or whatever. And I do think that looseness of it is what we love about Scott Raynor. And so actually I do think if they had covered this with Scott Raynor, it'd be pretty interesting.
I almost want, like when I was listening to it, because I just sort of, it was on whatever the Blink YouTube page and it didn't have the context of like which album it was from. And even though from a production standpoint, it was so obviously from like Scott didn't play on any songs that really sounded like that. For the first little bit, I was like, maybe this is like the Enema Demos era, because I truly didn't know the timeline that I was dropping into. And there's such restraint in the drumming that it totally could be Scott and probably should have been Scott.
Yeah.
But then at some point, are we just begging for the Only Ones version again, you know?
Yeah, well, okay, let's do a little
I keep
fun
wanting to say
exercise.
the Only Fans.
The only fans. Another girl. Another planet? Netscape?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was that a planet? Or Internet Explorer, maybe? Okay, let's watch this.
Yeah.
So this is the only ones playing it on TV in France in 1979. Look how polite the audience is. Yes. Oh. He's playing a Telecaster. He's just like me.
You're the same. Oh, fuck, sorry. I was trying to
That's
turn
okay.
it down. It's too. Let's start it again. Start it again.
We're good.
It's the problem with giving me control.
We just needed a little taste. That's all we needed.
I want to taste more. Like truly vicious downstrokes. Like real, like full arm, like Ramon speed downstrokes.
It's so true.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's funny too how like I don't know too much about the Only Ones, but I do feel like every cool power pop and new wave and even like early twee band pretty much all turned to shit. Like even they only had like a few of these incredible singles in them before they lost their minds.
That's always the thing that, like, I'd be curious to know what this, like, sort of great trove of power pop that you have is, because I think my problem when I was, like, trying to sort of get into all this stuff was that, like, I remember going out and, like, buying it, you know, like, before I was buying vinyl, but also before I wasn't buying anything at all, going out and buying, like, a Nerves CD. And ultimately, like, after you get past, like, the first couple of songs, it was, like, a comp, I think, basically, of, like, all of their worthwhile material. And so you get, like, Hanging on the Telephone, which is, like, their version is better than the Blondie version, of course. And there's, like, a couple other good songs there. And then it's, like, some live versions and, like, some other shit. And you're like, right. And so I think, like, unless you were going to become that person who, like, sits around and listens to 45s, which, like, I never was. Like, again, I think of, like, having no attention span. Like, I remember, like, a friend of mine would always post, like, shit, like, oh, it's Sunday, I just, like, sitting, drinking a coffee, listening to this stack of 45s, and I was like, how the fuck
I think
are you
those
managing
people
to do
are
that?
lying.
I'm so envious of
those
it.
people
but
are lying because I've done those posts before too, and I certainly gave up after 2
Have you? I can't
Yeah.
picture you being like, just a warm cup of Joe and the crackle of the record player.
Yeah, like 10 years ago, that was my whole shit.
Right.
Absolutely. Anyways, do you have the aesthetic of this video we just watched in your head? You can kind of picture
Yes.
the downstrokes, the coolness. So here's Blink-182 recording their version of Another Girl on a Planet
Is it
in
gonna be
scenes
just this cool?
taken from Meet the Barkers.
No.
Travis just...
So it's 2 on the verse, then 2 on the chorus, which we're going to go.
Tom looks so bummed. Travis's drumming is so swaggerless compared to...
If we want to, we can add like the verses, like just layer it a little bit, and it could be very Blink, like modern Blink, or we can keep it the same as it is.
But we can try whatever.
Because what I say is like the other thing I'm thinking is like what we did to Robert Smith's song.
I think as long as the tempo stays the same.
Maybe even trying to do chords, like, you know.
Well, we're gonna do that.
I think that sounds
all
cool.
the sounds are gonna be that.
Take it from the top.
So that's them recording kind of just the exact
Amazing.
opposite.
What do you think it was like for them to? I don't think I realized that like Blink was on the Travis show much.
I think they're probably. It seems like they sort of try very hard to not be on it. From the few episodes we've watched, we need to watch some more for the Patreon.
Remember when Alkaline Trio was on the Hills?
Were they?
Yeah, there was like, but it made even less sense, and it doesn't even look like it's on YouTube. But someone in the Hills was like interning at a record label. Like it was like they just like dropped in on the recording, and there just like happened to be a band in the studio.
Oh, here we go. I found it.
Did you find it? Oh,
Yeah, it's on
shit.
Vimeo.
Ah, okay.
Oh, is this Avril?
Oh,
Can we try this again?
Y'all ready?
Nice fedora.
yeah. Listen, great drummer, not a great vibe.
He's got a good voice. Oh, there's Matt Skiba.
Yeah, there we go. This is so great because they're in the studio just playing to the like CD track.
Come on in.
Oh, here comes LC. And I don't know that other girl's name. Why are they here?
Glad you guys came.
I never have understood the context for the scene.
What do you guys think? Sounds good, huh?
Yeah. You didn't mind if I like flip a few switches?
She was like, this is cool. She said that like
Do you guys like them? Yeah.
they're all talking like teen girls in a party movie where people are doing cocaine and they're trying to seem cool with it. They're like, oh,
Right.
this
So,
is
yeah.
cool. I want some. This is so uncomfortable.
What is that? One of them's texting, I think the other one's like mad about the
What do you guys
texting.
need? Yeah. We're gonna go to sushi. We're leaving? Yeah, can you come with us? I need to stay until they're done. Oh, okay.
Does she work at the studio, Adrena?
Yeah, she works for Alkaline Trio. That's Matt Skiba.
She just said, while they were performing, she waved and said, you guys are great, goodbye.
I would love to be on a reality TV show like as just like an ancillary character like that.
I still
Like if I was just
think
imagine you and I were just doing the pod in the background.
we should have turned this into a reality show from the very start. Fuck. If only we could go back. But I do think everything that we've just experienced is precisely why there are some people who still cosplay like it's the 1970s, and I kind of don't fault them for it.
Right, because the only alternative is to live in the horrifying present.
Yeah, it's either this or you like just sleep in the back of a vintage store and roll into a new pair of bell bottoms every day and roll your own cigs and like don't have a phone and give everyone STDs. I think those are the two lifestyle choices.
Okay, well,
you can
I'll be
have.
honest with you. If you actually commit to it and you don't have a phone, plus you give everyone you know STDs, then I can't fault you for it. But you have to you have to go whole fucking hog on it. Otherwise, it's.
Are you talking to me or the people who will do it?
I'm talking to the people. You don't dress in bell bottom. You don't roll out of the back.
I could
of a
never
vintage store.
I could never commit to this lifestyle because I'm not an incredibly lanky, skinny man who looks Italian. That's also the other thing. Is you have to look like an Italian model.
It's true. Yeah, if you tried to, it would be. I don't think it fits your whole thing.
So I don't really know, first of all, how they showed the recording of the song in episode 7 of the show where it had already been the theme song. I guess they've shot that long in advance. They shot like a year in advance for Meet the Barkers.
I mean, was Meet the Barkers like a, 24 episode, early 2000s show? Or was it one of those things where they probably had filmed the entire season?
Yeah, they probably filmed the whole thing.
And
You're
then
probably
edited
right.
it together, right?
Yeah, I think, it was 10 episodes, season 1. Season 2, six episodes. I think it must have been canceled.
Wow, yeah.
I wonder if they recorded it just for this, or if they recorded it for the greatest hits, or if it was for both. Like, it's kind of, I don't know. There's not much info I can find about even why they chose it or anything. Like,
Well, it's got to be because at least like the only other kind of almost unreleased song of the greatest hits, I guess, is Just Not Now, which is more like that's like a B-side that was kind of a low-key hit. So I feel like these greatest hits collections always need something. I kind of wondered if it wasn't even Tom on it. Because it's very, like, the guitars sort of, it's cover guitars. And then the Tom vocals are real, like, it could just be Mark and a pitch shifter.
that's true, but we at least the fake
But now I've
version we
seen
saw
the-
him there.
yeah.
But the other notable thing is that this is the last thing they recorded before they broke up. And I almost said bloke up, which they also did because they're a band of blokes.
The
And I
fella's
think
bloked up.
less bands should be bloked up, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. No blokes.
But this is the last thing they recorded, and already like you could see Tom was kind of mad that he had to play like a boring pop punk song.
Yeah, just like we could do what we did with the Robert Smith song. Like he wanted to spread his wings.
He wanted to sing about Holly and the garden hose or whatever. But there is a part in this where you can hear Tom singing in the background, and he is doing like an old Tom voice. Like it's kind of like high Tom. So in that sense.
But like I said, I really wondered if that was like fake Tom, like when they, like putting Matt Skiba in a hat or putting someone else in a hat and pretending that's Matt Skiba,
Right, like in the
or whatever sort of tier of Weekend at Bernie's tomfoolery the band is currently engaged in.
Well, I don't know. I'd like to think it's actually Tom, and in 2005, his final song with the band, he proved that he could have still been doing the classic Tom voice all along.
Just keeping it quivered.
Because that's the other thing is, like, you're right. The way this sounds, it's impossible to tell when it's from. I always thought this was from, like, 1999 or something.
Yeah.
But no, it's from 2005, Meet the Barkers.
It's got that silky smoothness to it, though. So, like, all of that timing does kind of sort of make sense.
Yeah.
It would have been neat if they did this fully back in the day. Like, imagine if this was part of the Dancing with Myself, sesh.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, there's so much to think about with this, but it's weird. It's just so weird. Why did they choose such a fucking jam? And as you're gonna see, like, it's only ever been covered by cool people other than this. It would be like if they were like, oh, we decided to do White Light, White Heat for the Meet the Barkers soundtrack. It's like, what the fuck? What are you talking about?
That would be sick, though.
I actually think that would be an improvement. But yeah, I guess the other thing is, to me, when Blink-182 plays this song, I immediately think of Aliens Exist, and I immediately think of like Futurama or something. Like this seems like when they do it, it seems like very much it's about like space travel. But actually, initially, everyone thought that this song was about heroin. So that's kind of another. It like has such heroin chicness too. I think that's why like you really have to squint to see the heroin references in the song, but they're just so cool that I think everyone was like, "Oh, these guys are on heroin."
I always flirt with death.
I look ill, but I don't care about it.
Oh yeah.
I can face your threats. Oh wait, so okay, so this is actually I'm not going to spoil it. There's a thing about the lyrics that you'll hear in the interview. But okay, I can face your threats and stand up straight and tall and shout about it. I think I'm on another world with you. With you, I'm on another planet with you. With you, you get under my skin. I don't find it irritating. That could be a heroin reference, right? Mm-hmm. The annotations are not loading. I don't know what to say. You always play to win, but I won't need rehabilitating. Ooh. It seems like it's about fucking
I'm
heroin.
hearing heroin right now.
Yeah. I think I'm on another world with you. I'm on another planet with you. Another girl, another planet, another girl, another planet. Space travel's in my blood. There ain't nothing I can do about it. Long journeys wear me out, but I know I can't live without it. So everyone thought it was about heroin to the point where, like, even though it was such a fucking jam, they wouldn't play it on the radio at first.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, think about, well, I'm going to say the most old man thing ever, but just think about that in the era of WAP. How this, now they can do a song that's like, my pussy is dripping wet and I want your dick in it. And back then they're like, he said under my skin in a way that seemed like it might possibly preclude the use of heroin.
Just suggestive, yeah. It is weird. I hadn't watched the video, and I finally watched it today, and I was like, man, like, I used to think that, like, you know, like, the music videos that I watched when I was 13 were, like, horny, you know? But they were, like, extremely not, you know? They were
actually,
quite chaste.
The funny thing is WAP is also about heroin.
Interesting. Wow. Layers, eh?
With an E on the end. Heroines is what it's about, actually. No, I haven't even listened to it because I don't want to, like, engage with the discourse about it because I think it's, you know, everyone can do whatever they want. I don't give a fuck. It's fine.
I needed to know.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have no opinion except, like, okay.
Yeah, but it's hilarious to imagine in Britain in the late 70s, so they're, like, just the very thought that it could be something, they ban it.
Yeah.
It's kind of great. But the singer of The Only Ones has since said that it's not about heroin. But everyone else is like, yeah, it is. Like, everyone still thinks it is. And I kind of still think it is, too.
It's sort of cooler if it is, right?
Yeah, but in 2015, Peter Parrott, the singer and songwriter, said it was actually inspired by a girl and it's not about heroin. Although he admitted he always enjoyed writing ambiguous lyrics that could be taken on 2 or 3 different levels, which I also think is like, okay, now I really do sound like I'm railing against WAP, but I also think that should be like maybe one of the first rules of writing lyrics is that you leave something open to interpretation a little bit.
Nah, spell it out.
Just like completely literal.
Yeah.
Like quarantine, fuck this disease.
Yeah, there's got to be room for all of it, you know? Like, I want the sort of, like, incredibly, like, troublingly specific diary entries of Rivers Cuomo, and I also want the, like, is it heroin of Another Girl, Another Planet?
Yeah,
like, can't I have it all?
It's kind of amazing. It's like a lyrical Sudoku or something. You're piecing it all together. It's like
to choose your own adventure, you know?
It's so complicated and complex and yet so simple. And it's kind of amazing that it works as both. I think that means it's a perfect... I think this is a perfect song, really. It's
really fucking good. I mean, like, having only heard it for the first time today, I don't want to, like, sort of go off the deep end in my praise. Like, should I, you know, feel that I want to pull it back in like a week or two? But I'll check in again at that point. But
right,
the vibe is very sick.
Yeah, it's so good. I do think it's just, again, funny to sort of take some. This is kind of the equivalent of like celebs wearing Black Flag shirts or whatever too. It's like it is kind of just like normie culture taking something special from some kind of underground culture and sanitizing it and making it sound like a pop punk TV show theme song and like fucking up the lyrics. That's the spoiler. And then making it seem like it's definitely not about heroin at all, but just about like being obsessed with a space lady or whatever. Like,
yeah, like, and that's like to me, I was like, oh, definitely the song's about space ladies. For sure.
It just makes me when I hear Blink singing, I instantly think of the cover of the compilation Ska Tracks with like it's like Space Babe or whatever.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
Yeah, like it's like Ska Tracks mixed with the first Goldfinger album.
Yeah,
and like every Astronaut Jones sketch.
Yeah, exactly. Like everything had Ren and Stimpy font because Ren and Stimpy wasn't canceled yet totally. Back then. Well, that brings me to this thing that I'll play here, which is just Blink's version set to a Captain Kirk tribute video.
Oh.
Oh no! Wait, this isn't Blink's version. This is the original.
Still, I bet this is a great Captain Kirk tribute that I believe said Captain Kerr off the top.
I think I said Captain Kirk. Oh, this was fucked up. Maybe it was cut off because it also said Another Girl, Another Plane, which I believe is a 9/11.
Yeah, that's a different video.
Another plane, another tower. Oh, I wonder if there's parodies of this song. I didn't think to check.
Oh, for sure there are.
Oh my god, this is just so good.
Also loving all these classic Shatner moments.
Are you a Trekkie?
No.
Me
Are
neither.
you?
No, I was like, a lot of people were trying to convince me of it a few years ago, but there's no
at some
way.
point I decided I was gonna like rewatch all of the movies, and it's great, but it was never I watched like Next Generation growing up like everybody did.
Yeah, I never watched any. I've never seen any of it at all.
Oh, some of the movies. I don't know if there's a whole thing like only the odd movies are good, or no, maybe it's like only the even numbered movies are good. And it's incredibly true. Like those movies are so great, and then the other movies are very bad. But like he's insanely charming, and the vibe is just quite sick.
Here's a tribute to Travis and Shanna, set to the Blink cover of the song.
Pop, I was looking at this the other day, and I can't believe it's been a year.
I mean, that guitar hit right there sounds really good. I think they should have... They did layer some really good guitars on it. I think it's the vocals that kind of...
It's just so middling, the vocals. It's just like crap. So this is the credits.
No, this is a tribute using the show that someone's made.
Oh, okay.
The credits are super short. And Shanna does a impersonation of a hearing impaired woman every single time, and it's really offensive. It's like she's also an actor, and then she's like, she does a deaf voice. It's very bad.
This is really selling me on the show, though. It's just Travis Barker on a Sea-Doo.
It's a good show.
How many episodes did you and Sarah do?
I think I don't remember.
The Barkers?
I think we've done like 5 or 6. This does sound like a wedding cover band.
Oh, yeah. It's so good, though.
It is, like, that's the thing. If I hadn't have listened to the original and been like, thought about the history of the concept of coolness,
Yeah.
I would still like this a lot. It does actually sound like the Ataris to me.
Oh, it does, yeah. But it sounds like the Ataris from, like, the like, Columbia records. Like, not any of the Kung Fu records. Is that Tim Armstrong? Sorry.
Yeah, oh yeah, this show has everything.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know Tim Armstrong was on a reality show. It's still very funny to me, I guess.
It's like, it'll never be funny, but like, he's like written like 100 Britney Spears songs, but it's still weird. You know what I mean? Like, all this stuff is still... Anyways, so that was a tribute to them.
And sorry, are Travis and Shanna still married?
Oh my God, no, Sam. Keep up here. Come on.
Okay, sorry, I don't...
You gotta read Travis's book. I think you gotta read Travis's book is what you
do
gotta
they get
do.
divorced in the book?
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh, I didn't...
Like, they were already
know.
there. I think they were already broken up, and then when he was recovering from the plane crash, she like went on his computer for something. And it's like, oh, he's been cheating on me with like literally hundreds of women. It's like, it's good. I wish that the show had that, but it's definitely one of those reality shows that seems very fake. Even more contrived than LC watching Alkaline Trio.
Watching Alkaline Trio. Bye. You guys are great. Bye.
So something recently happened with this song that I noticed that I made a little mental note to bring it up on the pod. There's like, I saw this because this person is in the Nation, but this like had like, I saw this when this had like 2 faves on it. This first tweet was by I am Jacob 182 last month. And it was...
this is super fucking funny, actually.
It's so awkward, though. Like, there was no one on this thread at all. So he said, all right, let's try this one next. Pick your top 3 fave songs by @Mark Hoppus. And Jacoby has picked Josie, Wendy Clear, and Weatherman, which must be, like, plus 44 or something. And then Hanson Rules with a Z97, who's in the Nation.
Sorry, and it's not like this person, like, this tweet blew up and Mark was looking at the...
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like he is tagged, but like He still
This has 53 likes. This tweet. This first tweet.
now it doesn't. Like when I saw this, it had literally 0. And Lupe Hanson Rules 97 has 400 followers. And they wrote top fave Blink-182 Mark songs. I don't think this is a troll. Maybe it is. I can't tell. They've written Rock Show, Up All Night, and Another Girl, Another Planet. And then Mark instantly weighed in. I'm serious. When I saw this, I think there was maybe no faves on any of it. And Mark weighed in and said, "Thank you very much for this. Tom wrote Up All Night, and Another Girl, Another Planet is a cover."
What?
I mean, it's so heartbreaking in a way, too.
What? Okay, they have replied at some point in this thread with the baby from Dinosaurs laughing.
So maybe.
So maybe it's a troll, but then, that's... Up All Night, that's awesome. Why did Mark find that?
I mean, he was tagged in it. Maybe he just happened to be looking at the right time, or maybe he does read every reply, and this one just got under his skin so bad.
Yeah, just relentless. Just I must do something.
It's so funny.
It's awesome.
Poor Mark. Poor guy.
That's really funny. I support it. Oh my God, that's so great.
Honestly, I can't find a parody of this song. Maybe no one's parodied it.
What?
It's kind of crazy.
I guess, I don't know, are a lot of people parodying,
classic
power pop songs? Yeah, that aren't, the Knack or something,
Yeah, maybe not. No, I don't think so. Well, I guess if you were to parody it, what would you make it be?
Oh, come on. Don't make me do an improv game.
You love it.
It would be about just partying too hard, and it would be called Another Hurl, Another...
Another Plan B.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be it. And it would just be about getting drunk with your pals,
and then having unprotected sex. It's real unprotected sex week here on the pod.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Josiah?
No, I'm not doing it. I was just making you do it.
Thanks,
it's my
man.
fun
I appreciate
game
that.
I just
but yeah,
did.
it's are there a lot of parodies of I don't know, Teenage Kicks or whatever, I'm just trying to think of other classic power pop songs that are not also Blondie songs,
huge hits.
Yeah.
I also feel like I need to just mention. I feel like I need to mention right now that I have actually heard power pop from the Best Show. So we don't need to talk about that. I have heard it. On tour there was a 24-hour period where I tried to get into the Best Show, and I can see why everyone likes it. But it's just too many inside jokes. It goes a little long for me. So, it's kind of
it's a little much. Yeah.
You gotta keep it tight. Keep your recordings tight, obviously.
Yeah. Do as we say, not as we do,
I cannot find a parody. I can't believe this.
That sucks. Is there a Nightcore version?
Well, before we get into that, for some reason, this is on. You mentioned Billy Bragg earlier. For some reason, this is on his
because the guitar tone sounds. Yeah. It sounds like. It literally kind of sounds like the beginning of a New England.
This is on for some reason his official YouTube channel has uploaded this, but it's just a snippet of him talking on the radio. And another thing that I don't like when I'm listening to someone do a live audio recording with them speaking is when you can hear their mouse clicking, which you can hear a click on the. It's not my mouse when you hear it at the end. It's him.
Prelude there from 1973 with their version of Neil Young's After the Gold Rush. Punk rock came along just a few years after that single was in the British charts, and the punks really didn't have much time for that kind of hippy-dippy stuff. Instead, they were all about speed. It was their drug of choice, it was their tempo of choice, and what could be more speedy than space travel?
The click is annoying.
Right?
Edit the click out, the BBC. What the fuck?
There's a click. Obviously we have a lot of clicking, but we're a punk project.
Yeah, that's the thing is full on. We can be a do as we say, not as we do, because our whole thing is like, well, we don't give a shit, man.
But you've for some reason like uploaded this to your official YouTube page. That just a 30-second intro of this.
Sorry, I'm just hearing.
Woody just attacked me.
Woody back there just.
Go.
Is everything okay?
I don't know. He just got a little bit. He wanted to fight. He just jumped
really?
up and yeah, he got a little. I don't know. He's moody. He likes to play fight sometimes, and then he likes to actually fight sometimes. You know, he's just kind of
hard to tell which one.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little hard to tell, but I've closed the door. I'm safe. It's okay.
Now I'm just looking at pictures of Billy Bragg. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, it's funny. The intro that he just made to that song is kind of like does not match up at all with pretty much anything that Alan from the band says later on. So it's kind of interesting too. But anyways, I think we should just get into covers.
Do we talk? Do you guys talk about Billy Bragg in the guest interview?
No, but we definitely talk about like whether or not the only ones are punk.
Okay.
That's the big reveal I'm teasing. The big punk reveal.
This is very exciting. We're going to show punk on the pod.
Instead of a gender reveal, people should start having punk reveals.
That was exciting. You can lead the charge on this for sure.
You pop a balloon and it either says if your kid is punk or emo.
Holy shit. This is important, man.
I think it's been too highbrow. I think we need to start with something.
Let's go low.
We need to go low. They go high, we go low. Is definitely our saying here.
It's the motto of the pod, official motto of the pod.
Headquarters. So let's check out this band called Stink Amos.
Yeah. Stinkamus.
This is like the most old guy punk band I've ever seen in my life. This is Stink Amos with their cover of Another Girl, Another Planet.
Yes.
Oh. He's wearing a Gibson hat and a Teenage Head shirt.
Yeah.
These are like the people who whenever you like find out that a practice space is too expensive in your city, you're like, who the fuck is renting this place? It's these guys. It's Stink Amos.
I feel like all of these guys have been in like a band with Warren Kinsella at some point.
Yeah. The fashion of this band is so unbelievable, and they're all like in their 50s. There's a man in a cowboy hat. There's a man who's always wearing a different footy jersey, and then there's like always a guy who wears a gas station shirt, like as if it's still grunge time.
And then the one who definitely like probably has some Lauren Kinsella ass suit job, but they bought a new Teenage Head shirt and they're wearing it for all the photos.
Yeah. Oh, the guy in the gas station shirt took it off to reveal a CBGB's shirt as well.
Yes. That was a random photo of a cat in the middle, but it's hi.
That's for Woody.
Aw.
A little grump.
Well, now we're just rotating back to the same. You know what? It's a fucking good song, though. It is just nice to listen to.
It does transcend the form, usually, I think. So,
I hate that the drummer is the one with the cowboy hat, and I hate him. I hate him with my life.
the garage shop t-shirt guy has a music stand behind him that he's just using to prop up a Keystone Light beer.
Yeah, Keystone stand, baby.
Maybe this band rules, actually.
Did you have to drink Keystone when you did drink and you lived out west? Was that like
No, I don't think I've ever had that at all.
Oh, in my mind, it's a real, like, you know, it's like a Rocky Mountain beer.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had it.
You got to move back and, I guess, start drinking again. I don't want you to do any of those things.
This is kind of an emo type of band called Scarcliffe. SCARCLIFFE, and they're doing like acoustic version of the song.
Scarred Cliff is like a real Masks new metal kind of name. And instead they all look like emos.
But they look the guy on the left looks like he's from a Final Fantasy game. He's like gone too buck wild. He's gone too crazy with the hair straightener. I also love when people like try to switch up the shots by zooming in on their original.
Oh yeah, totally. Just punch it in, it'll be fine.
No one will notice.
I just always feel like the commitment required to purchase an acoustic bass is like too much for me.
I know.
Oh, I like.
Stand up tall and scream and shout about it. I think I'm on another world with you.
This band definitely.
I just like
is coming to this song from
harmony
Blink.
between the. Yeah, I like the harmony between the second guitar and the bass there. Little like bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah, there's some nice noodling. I mean, this band is mortifying, but I still like this.
Yeah. It's the one who's singing, in addition to looking like a Final Fantasy character, looks like a sort of tertiary character in some kind of teen movie where he's like the sort of sexy rebound for the main character who's like in the movie for 15 minutes and almost immediately is revealed to be like a full-on sexual predator. and she like retreats to the comfort of the life that she thought she wanted to leave behind, you know?
Yeah, you're thinking of that because of all of his bracelets, and you're imagining that they all represent a sex act that he's done.
Exactly, yeah.
He also kind of looks like Tim Heidecker from the Jim and Derek episode where he was like alternative. But also he has like a red bandana on his acoustic guitar head. So maybe he's a blood. Maybe we should be careful.
Yeah, well, you have to delete this.
Is there any emos in the Bloods or the Crips?
Oh.
Like, are they allowed other genres? Be kind of cool.
I always wondered that about like straight edge when I was younger and didn't drink, but also like was absolutely terrified of like, you know, really beefy hardcore music. You know, I was like, can I be straight edge but also exclusively listen to Dashboard Confessional?
I mean, if you were a girlfriend, then yeah. I'm not saying that I believe that. I'm saying the rules of the time. I'm not wrong either. This band is called the Cole Porters, and they're doing a bluegrass version of the song.
Oh, what? Look at these dapper purple suits.
It's actually delightful.
See, well, because I think they're doing this is different because I think what would be goofy if they were punks is not goofy because they're maybe just into old English rock songs.
Yeah, they're true bluegrass also. Yeah, they're not... None of these people know who Frank Turner is or whatever.
Yeah. It's not like Chimney Jim and the Boxcar Boys.
I genuinely don't know if you just made that up or if it's real.
I did make it up. I thought it was pretty good riff, though. Thanks.
I think it could be so real. Oh, the main guy looks like someone. I can't place him.
Yeah. Fuck. Oh my god. Do you feel like he actually looked more like the person that he looked like in the wide shot, though?
Yeah.
Like I've lost it in the type.
This kind of just seems like a mighty wind.
Oh yeah, totally.
This is cute.
I never did much wandering after all. Great soundtrack. Who wrote those songs?
I love that there's a kiss at the end of the rainbow.
Oh.
Such a nice song.
More precious than a pot.
I shouldn't have played this one because there's a cringe one coming up that I have to add to later now because we're on too much of a high. They're on. Maybe should I just play the bad one now, or should I? I don't know what to do. Do you want bad or good?
Well, yeah,
right
now? Let me just find out who wrote all the Mighty Wind songs. All written by the people. What a talented group, eh?
What a talented group.
It's a
Can
talented
we have
bunch
a
of
grant,
friends.
please? We talk about so much CanCon on here. We need to get like what is going on?
Mighty Wind isn't CanCon. I mean, I guess there's some Canadians
basically
who
is.
provide
Come
the
on.
content. Okay, let's do the bad one. Let's do it.
Okay, well, the bad one is pretty loaded as well because it's from one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I feel like I'm taking fucking crazy pills. Everything about this makes me lose my mind. Everyone gave it such a good review. They said it was so good. Everyone
so
fucking
excited.
loved this
Give me
movie.
hints. Give me hints.
I wonder if you even saw it. You probably didn't. It's
No,
by,
but if people were giving it was buzzy.
It was
You're
buzzy.
saying.
It was buzzy. It was from the same year of TIFF that when every movie was a music movie. This is from the indie director who just keeps releasing movies that everyone either hates or should hate, Alex Ross Perry. It's the most ridiculous fake
Her
punk
Smell?
movie I've
Is that-
ever seen. Yes, and so it's Elizabeth Moss, like basically just doing a really.
Oh,
bad
this is in Her Smell. This is like
yeah,
that's,
yeah.
Okay.
Did you see this movie?
No, I keep being curious. Like I'm definitely Her Smell curious, but like it's so long, and almost everyone told me I would hate it, and then my brother-in-law was like, "No, dude, it's like kind of like fucking nuts and fun."
Yeah, I know. Like people say that, and I just think there's one cool thing about the movie, which is that in the closing credits, the fictional band, someone has made like tons of 7 inches and CD compilations and different releases that are so perfectly era specific that they really work, and it's really cool. So I would say the credits, if you make it that far, are the good part of the movie.
Because he was like, it sort of like just feels like if Gaspar Noé made a film about a punk band or something. Like it is like intense.
It's
like,
trying to
fucking
be
weird.
like that, but it's like it's also very much like if it was a Hilary Duff movie too. Like there's just like there's no understanding of.
But I like what you've just described quite a bit.
Maybe
like
you would
Imagine
like it.
Climax, but like nobody dies. You know,
Like they just there's. It's really, really annoying and bad. But anyways, and Alex Ross Perry keeps saying that she wasn't based on Courtney Love, which is just like the most like bury my face in my hands kind of thing ever. And not only that, like this is the big climax of the movie. There's supposed to be this like alternative rock band who are like so edgy, and this sounds softer than the Blink version in my opinion. So this is from the end of.
I'm half expecting this to be Kiss at the End of the Rainbow.
I just want to know if anyone else hates this movie. Please get back to me because everyone seems to like it. And I think they're just trying to make me mad. But yeah, her band is called Something She. He said Hole was not a reference point for this movie whatsoever. He said he was inspired by the Guns N' Roses documentary, and he was almost offended that people suggested it was like Hole.
Like it's somehow like reductive and like misogynist to be like, just because a woman is a rock star, she's not Courtney Love.
Just because a woman is a rock star who's flirting with punk pop superstardom and singing with this growly heroin chic voice with blonde hair and also sounds exactly like Hole doesn't mean that you can say that.
Quite reasonable. Yeah, the watch together is just totally shitting the bed for me right now, so I'm missing this entire fucking epic closer.
Is it not working?
No, and I feel like you're getting. I feel like my internet is. Okay, here we go. Okay, they're rocking again. Did you pause it?
Yeah. I mean, so does that not remind you of Hole a little bit? Maybe.
Yeah, it's whole. She even like feels like she's playing her guitar like Courtney Love. Like it's like she studied the mechanisms of
It's like the movie's really, really annoying, and then everything that's ever said about the movie makes it even more annoying, and then people keep saying they love it, and it's like, it's just, I feel like the world is playing a prank on me.
I feel like I have to watch it now, though, just because
You kind of do. You kind of do, but like it's so much worse than I'm even describing. But
okay, sick. I really want to have like a real contrary opinion.
Yeah, well, maybe we can talk about that when we have our Hamilton debate one day, too.
Oh, exactly. It's going to be fun.
So, having not seen the movie, what do you think of that cover?
I mean, I'll be honest, my internet died for most of it. But it sounded like, based on everything I know about the movie, like every single thing that I've read about the movie, the idea of then concluding with that like chord progression is not at all how it's been positioned to me.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it makes no sense. Although being in that darkness and then doing something so like with a pop sheen that's kind of ready for the radio kind of reminds me of the band Hole a little bit. I will say.
So maybe it's interesting. So maybe it's all like a long con.
It could be. I think maybe his entire career is. Okay, this is Misty Miller. This is a more recent one, and it's like some super millennial.
I chose Another Girl, Another Planet because it's a close song to me because I shared it with someone and it reminds me of a good time. Also, I just enjoy playing it, and if I'm going to be covering something, I want it to be something that I can give myself to and relate to, and also...
Nice little intro. Thank you, Misty.
I always flirt with death. I look ill, but I don't care about it. I can't face your threats and stand up straight and tall and shout about it. I think I'm on another world with you. With you. I'm on another planet with you. You get under my skin, I don't find it irritating. You're always playing to win, but I won't need rehabilitating. Oh no, I think I'm on another world with you. With you. I'm on another planet with you.
I mean, this is really, really good in my opinion.
It's so great. This is like kind of reductive, but I think it's just because it's the same like sort of spoken singing with the like really pronounced accent, but it sounds so much like Courtney Barnett to me.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, what I love about it is like I love it. It's beautiful in kind of a modern context of a stripped down, like new artist doing this stripped down kind of like mopey version of it. But I also love that there's a comment from a man whose avatar on here is a picture of a footy pitch, a football field named Paul W. And he just wrote, "Pretentious Tosh."
Oh, wow. What?
So he probably just loves going around the pub and listening to the Only Ones version. And he's probably really pissed about this new pretentious version of it, which... I don't know.
I don't feel like it's that pretentious.
Yeah, not really.
Nor do I feel that it's Tosh.
Maybe Tosh.0. No.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, exactly. It's good. It's clever. Okay, along those lines, this is another kind of stripped down one. This is by someone named Jack Hader from his album Practical Wireless. Such a nice album cover. Although the way that kid's hand is down his pants, it kind of looks like he's jacking off.
No, that's just like that's a chill hand down the pants.
Definitely, like I had friends, and I must have done it too, but I definitely had friends when I was a teen who would like just always kind of be holding their balls without realizing it.
You gotta take care.
Did you have that too?
Oh, 100%. I feel like we've talked about this on the pod before.
Maybe. But the guy that I know that did it lives in Ottawa now, and he like works for the government. He's very serious. Every time I talk to him, he's like doesn't laugh about anything. I just remember like hanging out with him at youth group and him grabbing his balls in front of everyone and being really awkward. And now he's like so serious.
Do you ever ask him if he still grabs his balls? Like
maybe that's why he got serious, because he's
right. It was a huge overcorrection.
This is a really nice version of the song that we're ruining. But yeah, this album cover is like almost like a Radiohead style line drawing of two boys at the family computer just hanging out, having a time.
Yeah. But only one of the boys is colored. It's like a real like Radiohead meets Schindler's List kind of effect.
You mean like he's colored? To clarify, Sam's saying only one of the boys is colored in.
Yes.
I don't find that irritating. No.
This is fucking awesome.
It's so good. Yeah. Oh my god. I hate how
this is what happens with good songs, eh?
The pod is like making me love music so much.
Aw.
So embarrassing.
So happy for music.
It's so corny. Okay, this is a band called the Valkyrians. This is a fucking ska version, baby.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's like, it's definitely not third wave Christian ska, but I'll take it.
I always fled with death. I'll kill, but I don't care about it. I can
Remember a time when we pretended to not like ska?
scream and shout about
This is sort of confused. I feel like that represented like the last shreds of like our
Pre-pod life?
yeah, where like some of your likes and dislikes, like mostly we were there, but like still you had some holdovers that were purely just related to like factors that were unrelated to music, you know, like that were related to what kind of person you wanted to like present as.
Right, like exactly. Although this does sound like the kind of ska that like people who think they're cool always would have liked.
Oh yeah.
This is like cool guy ska, but it's sick. I really like it.
I mean, yeah, it's great. Sometimes cool people know what's up.
Maybe always, I'm starting to think. This is one of those weeks where I have a glimpse at my old life and I think, what have I done?
You're
I just like
maybe I
play
was
Rocket
right.
League and like drool.
Yeah.
Now instead of, trying to learn about music. Even this, I never heard of this band before. They're from Amsterdam and they're called the Fatal Flowers. They're from the 80s and early 90s. The art is so cool. This cover is fucking incredible.
I'll always flirt with death. I've been killed, but I don't care about it.
Like this art is so cool. It looks like
The art is
some
unreal.
graphic designer's like weekend project where they make classic album covers cool, and you're like,
Yeah,
this looks
yeah.
too good to be real, but it's real.
I think I'm on another planet with you. I got you under my skin. I don't find it irritating. You always play to win, but I don't need rehabilitating, 'cause I think I'm on another world with you. I think I'm on another planet with you.
I kind of just got lost in how beautiful that
Yeah.
was.
I was like, it's just really nice. I also could not get over that artwork.
It's so good, and the band named the Fatal Flowers. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's all
They're-
fake. It does all feel like things that, like, nothing was actually that cool.
Yeah, Fatal Flowers were in
1985
Amsterdam.
to 1990.
An Amsterdam blues rock band active between 1984 and 1990. They're seen as one of the best Dutch bands of the 1980s. Yeah,
The
like, it's
Dutch.
just-
I didn't think the Dutch were cool, like, back then or ever.
I know.
It's
Exactly.
shocking.
I think it's this song too. It brings out the heroin chic in everyone. Although even their band photo on Wikipedia, it's like this band is cool as hell. The like, I don't even know how to describe it. They don't look like a blues rock band, that's for sure. I guess I'm
What
gonna
the
listen to
fuck?
the Fatal Flowers now.
Yeah. They look like a 90s band. Like, it looks
Yeah,
like
like Primal
band that had,
Scream.
yeah, one album on Reprise. And you were like, oh, wow. Do you remember the Fatal Flower? Yeah, that one record was so sick. And that's the, like, you find this in a filing cabinet and exclaim.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't know. So I mean, once again, just pure, beautiful heroin chic. Okay, now it's into all the heavy hitters pretty much for a little bit here. So here's Johnny Thunders covering the song. I think this is live. Whoa, sorry, a little loud. Literally know nothing about the New York Dolls at all.
Long journeys wear me out, but I know I can't live without it. I think I'm on another planet with you. You get under my skin, I don't find you irritating. You always play the wind, but I'm not thinking I think I'm on another planet with you.
There's just something that lends itself to this like cool guy.
Yeah, it's just perfect in that
laziness.
context. Yeah. It just demands to be sort of like half-assedly sort of strummed through.
Yeah, exactly. And then another. So I don't know. Do you have something you want to say about Johnny Thunders? Your experience with the music of Johnny Thunders?
Just R.I.P., bro.
It's just I always was so close with the music of Johnny Thunders and his 6 studio albums, and then the various official live albums and compilations. And
That was at least like
and
New York
EPs.
Dolls was definitely one that I like posed through for so long and then I eventually like actually like listened to a lot and developed a genuine appreciation for. Like, not that I'm like there are completists and whatnot when it comes to this era of things, but like Johnny Thunders is sick, man. New York Dolls are sick.
Yeah,
But I have
I'm
nothing
sure
to
I
add
probably
to the
would like
discourse.
them, or maybe there's like things that I know from it too. But I just I don't know. I've never enjoyed.
I feel like you
homework.
would.
I don't
Yeah.
like homework. I like to listen to Nevermind the Bollocks like once a year. That's my favorite punk thing to do.
Yeah, like also like the New York Dolls are very much just like a rock and roll band. Like they truly are proto punk, So like
I know, and
it's
I
very,
think
like,
that was the other thing.
Ooh, boogie woogie, let's go! Like kind of like energy to it.
I got really burnt out on proto punk as well. Like when it was like the thing that everyone was into, I just got really sick of it. So then I just gave up.
Well, because
but-
at some point it's like there are like things that are very exciting, like MC5 and New York Dolls. Like as much as those they've been reduced to like T-shirts, like they are legitimately like sick fucking bands. And then people like rediscover shit like fucking Death, and you're like, oh my god, there's so much going on here. This is really exciting. But then eventually you're just listening to like, proto-punk being like very atavistic rock and roll bands, which at some point just becomes like really shitty 70s rock bands. And you're like, this is like what inspired punk. And you're like, we got what we deserved then.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's just,
like that well only goes so deep.
Yeah, and I think people just got so excited by Death that it just like never.
That was the end point. Yeah, but that should have been it.
And then like one day I like switched over to the other Death, and I was like, oh, this is so much sicker.
Yeah.
Okay, someone else that again I've just got to pose my way through is Evan Dando covering this song.
Oh yeah, huge posers. You and me when it comes to this.
Shit. Another guy with a cowboy hat playing with Evan Dando here on stage.
Is that Evan Dando?
No, he's the other guy.
It's so badly shot. I truly like. The only person I saw on stage was like moving patch cables.
I also like how they do justice to the like looseness of the start that you can't even tell when they've actually started the song.
Oh yeah, that other one is definitely Evan Dando.
There's just something about this song that you can just dick around on, and it sounds so good. Maybe Lemonheads is one that I'll try again, because I do believe that I would love it. That was very cute.
I love it. I also I love the idea that if you can make being shambolic, you know, to use the word again, such an intrinsic part of your thing, you can kind of just suck shit forever.
Yeah,
it's like what people want from you.
But I also think that's the thing about it is that making music is actually really easy. So to commit to doing that is no different than to commit to like being good. Also,
right? So it
like
requires the same level of commitment.
Yeah, like it's pretty easy to make music no matter what. So to decide to be like that is like really cool. That was really reminding me of this band that I really do want everyone to check out. They're kind of like the unsung heroes of early 2000s, mid 2000s Vancouver. Some of my friends, including former guest of the pod, Ryan Dick, were in it. They're called, it's kind of hard to find, but I think if you search on Bandcamp, they're called The Bloggers. And maybe I can play some, actually. They're called The Bloggers, and they would just like, some of my really close friends were in it, and some guys that I like only kind of know peripherally, but they would just like jam all the time and then make up songs on the spot, and then someone would edit them together after, and like the lyrics would all be made up as they went along too. And sometimes it's awful, but sometimes it's really, 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 really good. And it's like kind of like this amazing, exactly that, like shambolic kind of. Here, I it's only on Bandcamp that I can find, so you should just play this at the same time as me, and I'll play it in the pod. This is The Bloggers' Maps of the Stars.
My car broke down. Whoa, maps of the stars. Maps of the stars. Maps of the stars on Hollywood Boulevard. Maps of the stars. Maps of the stars. You can drive there in your car from Hollywood Boulevard. Maps of the stars. I've seen maps of the stars. I've seen maps of the stars.
So that's one example. Yeah, that's one example.
That's fucking sick. It reminds me of the Pavement song. The world knock you out.
Oh yeah, I know what one you mean. I can't remember the name though. But there's literally hundreds. Like Hockey Dad Records, Ryan's label before he worked for Mint, he put out a DVD-R of Blogger songs because he couldn't fit them all on a CD because there's like so many hundreds. So you really start to get a headache after a while. But I think they really nailed it, and I think that like I just wish the Bloggers had blown up because they were so good.
Yeah. Grounded. That's the song. That's what I'm trying to.
Okay, yeah. But anyways, that's some like I just think it's a sick decision to make to just be like, because it actually you have to tell your brain to stop sometimes, because to be at that level is kind of a different kind of control where you're being kind of primal.
Yeah, you mean tell your brain to just sort of like let go and just sort of
just be wild and loose with it.
Yeah, but it's always interesting to me because I get it. And I feel like if I was watching something like this live, I'd be like, fuck yeah. But I never can listen. I cannot listen to anything like this. Like this or the Bloggers, like, or even really Pavement, like just in a casual, like doing a strut scenario.
Oh, man. It's so good.
I need more compression and perfection in my life.
All right, fair. Well,
I'm not proud of it, but we're talking about like recognizing the things that you actually like. I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
No, that's true. That's what it's all about now. Is just like admitting these things. But that's no problem. But I was just kind of meant in terms of like the decision to be loose with it is. I feel like it's harder than people realize, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know. It's just there's something so freeing about it that I love, and so. I do kind of.
Well, I think it's the same. I think being again because I do ultimately think there's a difference between like being loose and being like shitty, right? And I sort of feel like it occupies a similar sort of psychic space to something we've talked about before, which is like being poppy, and that a lot of people for some reason just assume that like being poppy is easier than like somehow being like I don't know. Punk maybe being like whatever you consider to be the opposite of that, when it's like no, it's not easy to just like write a pop song. And it's not easy to I think do the kind of like effortless sort of shamble through a song thing and actually still have it sort of But again, ultimately, I think that's why like there are a lot of great bands that have successfully and not successfully like ridden that line, like the Replacements being like a perfect example of that, or like I've said this for like
so
the music
happy.
industry at their peak, which is that like if any band where you don't really know if you're going to get the like transcendently sort of fucked up version of it or the just like alienatingly fucked up version of it is going to kind of be more exciting than a band that is like perfect night after night.
True. Well, I interrupted you halfway through because you did a perfect segue, because up next we've got the Replacements.
Oh!
Who I've also pretty much never listened to and don't really care about.
Yeah, the best. The fucking best, but...
They always seemed like weirdly macho to me whenever I tried listening to them. Do they have like a macho-ness to them?
Did you say macho?
Yeah. There's something about even the way these drums sound, I'm like, calm down, bro.
Well, I also don't... What I'm curious about is like, what era of the band is this from? But they were not macho.
It's the vocals too. I'm always like, I
who's
don't
even
know.
in the band at this point? Because like the thing about yeah, it doesn't have the year attached to it. It's like sounds too fucking.
This is from '97.
modern.
This live album. I don't know if it was recorded then or not, but
Yeah, so like, I mean, I don't even think that the Replacements were a band in '97. Yeah, they were. So like, who knows when this from? It sounds newer. The problem is like, when you end up with like just a strictly kind of professional version of the Replacements, it's like not as interesting. Like you need it to be this sort of full chaos. Like I mean, like you need Bob Stinson basically. I just don't know if this is Bob Stinson.
yeah, it doesn't say when this live version is from. It's pretty serviceable though. I mean, it sounded like they were getting a bit loosey goosey with it, but
Yeah, I mean,
really...
again, but I think they're just sort of playing it, right?
Yeah, but it is interesting. This song, with the even though I don't love the Blink version very much, it does kind of tick every punk box. Like pretty much
turns out
touch
any
everyone.
punk can play this. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's too bad. I do think you would really like the Replacements, though.
Yeah, probably, and I'm sure I've listened to it before, but it just didn't connect with me. You know?
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I was probably like playing a video game while I was listening or something.
It's great gaming music for sure.
I probably like put it on and then left the room for the entirety of it, which is
I feel like they're just, and I'm sure you've had this experience, right? There's like these like iconic punk bands that you know you're supposed to listen to, and you listen to, you're like, okay, I get it, yeah. But like from time to time, there's the thing that you like listen to because you feel like you're supposed to, and you're like, holy fuck, I get it.
Yeah,
like, you must have had that experience with some homework band in your life.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe the only ones. Like, I don't know.
Well, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, and I think, I don't know. I just, for some reason, I can't ever think of examples of anything tonight. I'm just, like, so gone. But
you're also like processing and expelling a tremendous amount of information this episode.
It's true. It's so true.
Yeah, so don't be too hard on yourself.
I feel like I had this homework season, though, where I was like, when I was 16, all the bands that I was supposed to like, I checked out all of them. And then half of them were like cemented in my brain, and then the other half weren't. But I do think maybe with like certain things, like I mentioned the death metal band Death, definitely I would have listened to them when I was younger and not gotten it at all. And now I love it, or like things like that where it connects later on. But I think, I don't know, anything that makes me think of like a Riot Fest poster, I just don't know if I can do it. Like, I'm not even trying to be mean. I just think it's like not for me, you know?
You know what? You're covering a tremendously wide swath of like punk, but I believe you. I think that's for some reason like the gravity of that is really hard for you to escape.
Yeah. Okay, another band I've never listened to. I think I'm fine without this one. I don't know. Have you ever listened to this? The Libertines?
No, I never listened to this fucking band.
I feel like I was somehow too old for this when this happened too.
Were we too old or too young for this? Or just too, like, North American?
It was too something.
Like, the idea of thinking that Pete Doherty is cool is so fucking funny to me.
Yeah, I know. Look at his
Like,
hat.
I don't understand it at all. But this felt like such a thing. This felt like such a thing in every, like, rock magazine that you would read.
I think this is just like peak of NME being at their powers. Like they could just decide what they wanted to decide. And it's still true,
right?
because they've turned Albury Wodonga into a massive hit as well.
Yeah, they did it. Thanks, NME. Like, this is again another band that was like, maybe that, like, that's obviously specifically who this appeals to, is like the famously shambolic amongst us.
Yeah, but I feel like whenever
The
I
riff
actually
always initially throws me in, I think it's Journey.
when I actually heard, that's true, I can hear that too. When I actually heard real Libertine songs, they never, like, this sounds pretty good to me, but real Libertine songs never sounded this good. Also, this version of it is with the singer of The Only Ones. Oh my god, his voice didn't change.
I can't face your threats and stand up straight, tall and shout about it. I think I'm
That's definitely not Pete Doherty. Pete Doherty, is that his name?
Right? I think so. I feel like I only know his name because of Amy Winehouse, though.
You get under my skin, I won't
This does sound pretty good. Like, I would actually fucking love to just, like, be in a jam session with these people and just be allowed to noodle the whole time. Just, like, wiggle around
Just be the
frets.
third guitar player. Just like
be disgusting.
Wow. Yeah.
Hit some stinky notes and just, like...
I think you'd be a great third guitar player.
Oh, I fucking love to noodle. I keep playing guitar all the time lately and just noodling away. It feels so good.
It's just the noodle boy.
Okay,
Just
here we
noodling on your telly.
We're getting closer to things that I've listened to. Barely listened to this band, but here's The Cure doing it at a sound check in 1987.
Every fucking iconic band has covered this song.
I know.
Blink, The Cure.
Even the sound check sounds like it's part of it. Kind of amazing to think about. Like, it seems like now sound checks are part of some lanyard ass package.
Oh yeah, you pay to go to it, and yeah.
But I love that
every aspect of the day is monetized.
Yeah, but I love the idea of in the late '80s, like probably just somebody snuck in, or like just this, it was just this private moment where Robert Smith was belting out this sad, morose version of Another Girl on Another Planet, and that's so magical.
It's so sick. Yeah, just noodling.
Oh, so
and it just like recorded
good.
to someone's like illicit tape recorder.
Oh, fuck, man.
It's super sick. It's never into The Cure, eh?
A little bit. Like I like the singles, but I don't know. It's just kind of daunting.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But now we're into something that I love that, and I think that's the other thing is we're never going to change and we're never going to get each other into anything because I can't convince you to listen to this band. But up next we got
5 Hour Frenzy.
Pretty much. Belle and Sebastian playing it
live.
Okay.
Everyone has covered this.
Belle and Sebastian did another song that Blink had covered. Forget what one. Oh, Freak Scene. I wish Stuart would reply to my email inviting him on the pod.
This is like too high energy for what I know of Belle and Sebastian.
It's all high energy. That's the whole point. It's like pop punk, but wimpy. It's always fast. It's just gentle. It's like a brisk walk by a pond. That organ. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really like this one. I kind of think that I would hate seeing Belle and Sebastian live. I like them as like wimpy headphone music, but once you see them all on stage,
I feel like,
it would,
as soon as concerts come back, we are gonna go see a band that's gonna cover the song unexpectedly, and it's gonna be like a real beautiful pod magic moment. You know, we'll feel like we somehow made it happen instead of the fact that it's just like an iconic popular song.
Right? Who do you think it'll be?
I mean, it's definitely going to be when I go see Belle and Sebastian for sure.
Your thing just cut out like crazy.
Yeah, okay, I'll hang up and call you back.
Okay. Hello?
Hey, man, I don't know what the fuck is up tonight.
What did you just say?
Oh, we were gonna go see Belle and Sebastian, I think.
Did you hear what I was saying? I was saying I don't want to see them because I feel like they would suck live.
Oh, no, you haven't seen Belle and Sebastian?
No, so Sam's phone just fucked up, and I think we simultaneously had the opposite conversation as each other.
Yeah.
No, I love Belle and Sebastian so much, but I feel like as soon as they're all on stage and it's like mixed well, and you see all these like old people playing like marimbas or something, it's gonna suck. But whereas when you're just at home listening to Fox in the Snow and like everything, and then you feel like you're a tea bag being dipped inside of a warm cup of tea, like that's the kind of vibe.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah,
but so marimbas at home only is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think so, because I didn't really like that version at all. I don't know.
It's how cruel to your friends, Belle and Sebastian.
I know, but I think I love this one. I've always heard of this band, and I've never really listened to them until tonight when I was preparing for the ep, and I love it. This is the band Free Cake for Every Creature. Very, very twee name. They broke up last year, unfortunately, but...
Stand up straight in this hall and shout about it. I think I'm on another world with you. I'm on another planet with you. You get under my skin. I don't find it irritating. You always play to win.
Such nice guitar lines too.
Yeah.
I'm on another planet with you. Another girl, another planet, another girl, another planet.
Oh my god.
Holy fuck.
So good.
That was great. Does that band have other songs that sound anything like that? Did you know this band? Free Cake for Every Creature?
I've heard the name a bunch and I always thought, oh, that is just a wonderfully twee band name, but I've never listened to them, so I'm going to definitely be checking them out.
Perfectly on the right side of like almost too twee, but instead it's great. Hold on, wait. I thought it had to be a Blink reference. Their top song is called All You Gotta Be When You're 23, and I just like saw When You're 23 and was like, no.
Do you think it is? Maybe it is.
No, I don't think so. All You Gotta Be When You're 23 is Yourself is the full name.
I was listening to Blink 155 last night, and I was thinking about how I love those guys. No, it's not about Blink. No,
that was a great improv song about how good we are, though. Thinking about how I love those guys. And who could blame anyone for thinking about that?
I had a burp loading while I was laughing. I think we're done. This is just. I'm gonna play this in the background. This is the London Punk Harmonic Orchestra from their classical punk record.
We'll blast the stereo.
So how did you like the episode, Sam?
It's every song. Say that again, Josiah. It cut out for a moment.
I said, how did you like the episode? I mean, we're done. I think instead of just final thoughts, we should talk about what we thought of the episode too, instead of just final thoughts.
The call is decaying. My final thought is the song rocks, and I'm disappearing into the ether. Apparently, I can't hear you or anything.
Well, I think that the song is also great, and it's nice to talk about a good song. And I had a great time on the episode.
Me too.
Got you under my skin, I don't find it irritating. You always play to win, but I don't need rehabilitating, 'cause I think I'm on another world with you. I think I'm on another planet with you.
Welcome to Blink 155. It's a great pleasure to have with us Alan Mair from the band The Only Ones. Thank you for joining us, Alan.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, good to say hi to you and everyone else.
Yeah, so you were just telling me it's boiling hot in London today.
Yeah, I think it's heading for the 101 degrees just now, and it's they're saying it's going to probably be the warmest day on record, and it feels like that. Yeah, it's really intense.
Wow, so perfect weather to just sit around and talk and not do much else.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, nothing physical going on. Yeah.
So I've been kind of speaking to you for the last little while, and is it true you were just recording somewhere?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I've got a studio at home, so the lockdown has just made me work a lot, on some material, an album that I'm working on. So, the studio's made lockdown so much easier. If I'm feeling creative, then everything's fine, So, yeah, it'd be hard to do this lockdown without it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Amazing. That's great. So you're still making music and still recording and everything. How would you say your music has changed throughout your life?
Well, yes. I mean, really, the first band I was in, the Beatstalkers, we did American, which was then called American R&B. It would be, Don Covey, the Tams, the Temptations. So the Scottish band were kind of American. All of our set was American R&B that hadn't really reached it wasn't in the top 20. So basically, it was a kind of R&B band. Then it went a bit mod when I saw the Who playing in London when I was 16 or 17. Then I thought, oh wow! So it's gone through quite a lot of different changes. And then there was a spell, like America came back to American stuff like Steppenwolf and Moby Grape. So I picked up a lot of the different influences. Mm-hmm. And there's an American band that I loved through all of that, an American band called Death Opera. The first album, probably the most played album I've ever had. And the person's his voice, Peter Rowan's voice, was kind of, slightly different from the way everyone else was singing. Mm-hmm. So really, when I met the Only Ones, I liked immediately. So I really loved Peter's voice, and it kind of reminded me of Peter Rowan, Earth Opera.
Okay, wow. And then what about like what you're recording now?
It's still rock music. Lots of. I was working with Zal Clevenson from the Alex Harvey Band, who's a very heavy, great player, fantastic player. So he's a rock guitarist. Mm-hmm. We did some stuff together, but I've always loved guitar music. So it's still rock music and still, working on a couple of tracks kind of this week as well, which are a bit heavier. It varies, but it's usually always rock orientated.
Right. I guess like over the years, I guess not just because of the timing, but because of the style or the performing or just various reasons, I think the only ones have been associated with punk music as well. And I'm curious what your feeling is about punk music, and if you've ever really interacted with it much, or do you find that it's kind of a separate plane of existence from you?
Yeah, it's. I think there's an attitude. There was in some of the material, there was a punk attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the attitude would be. I think that's why we talked. We were sort of brought in. Of course, we landed right on top of the punk scene, and I guess it was that. Language problems, program. There's a few that we were never. As I'm sure if we were never ever a punk band, so sometimes it got in the way of what we were really doing. But at the same time, that whole scene was fantastic. It was just wonderful that we were all getting so bored with another supergroup being put together. It just was, music had become very stale. So the punk scene. I loved the fact that had come along and shook the industry apart. But when if someone said, a couple of times, I've done a few things recently, and someone sort of said, Alan from the punk band, the only ones, and I thought, no, we're definitely not punk. It was, I guess one of the interviews a long time, when we were around the first time, I remember because I had quite a lot of friends who were kind of hippies.
Yeah.
I was in a band called the Al Matthews Band, and they were great players. Ralph Ravenscroft played Baker Street. They were quite a bit hippie-ish, and I remember thinking, and it was true. Hippies were saying we were punk, and punks were saying we were hippies. So it was I coined the phrase at the time because I remember feeling right in the middle of it. But we were, I think. Just too musical to be, and of course, initially, guitar solos. If you play guitar solos, people were, before we had our own fan base, people would be shouting "Get off!" or
Right.
And of course, the whole spitting thing was really that was a pain in the backside. That was really a pain in the arse. That was really. I remember thinking, what is good? What? And it's poor Peter, we at least could get out of the way that Peter's on the mic, It really was a strange, it was that side of it. I remember thinking, this is not who we are at all. But love the attitude, But really, to my hippie friends, they really did think, when they used to come and see us in the early days at the Speakeasy, they really did think, Alan's in a kind of punk band. And then they got then everyone got it, after 6 months to a year.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's kind of so many great bands from history have a similar thing where they don't perfectly plug in with any exact scene, and people don't really know what to do with them. But then usually it kind of lasts longer in terms of the legacy.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess, while we're on the subject of punk or whatever, it's interesting then that Another Girl, Another Planet has been covered by this enormous band that we talk about all the time, Blink-182, who are kind of, I think pretty much everyone agrees, sort of the end of punk in the sense that they're a pop band that's just kind of pretending to be punk or something. But I guess, first of all, them covering your song, do you think that people love that cover too much, that they've kind of forgotten that it's an Only One song originally?
No, I don't. No, not at all. Because obviously the comments that are on YouTube, there's so many Only Ones fans that subscribe or write to the reply to YouTube channels that it feels kind of balanced to me. I think when people discover Blink-182 first, then that's their association with the song, and I think people tend to think initially they might have thought, it's a Blink-182 song, but that just made the Only Ones fans come out with a vengeance, going, no, that's, they never wrote it. And, it feels quite, obviously, there's a couple versions of it that are going, getting lots of hits on YouTube. So I think that in the early days it might have been a wee bit like that, especially for Blink 182 fans. But no, I think the Only Ones fans came out with "How dare you,"
Right.
So I think it ended up somewhere in the middle. But I think the Only Ones fans have pushed that further. That there's nothing like the original. That's the feeling I get.
There really isn't. I just listened to them both back to back, and it really says something about the difference in performing a song, of how much it can feel differently. I mean, the Blink-182 one feels so rigid and kind of uptight, versus the Only Ones version is so kind of has so much feeling.
Yeah, and it kind of it always irritates me that he sings the wrong lyrics.
Oh, what does he sing wrong?
I get killed. And the lyric, Peter's obviously, as we know, Peter's, it's I look ill and I don't care about it. And Blink-182 sing, I get killed and I don't care about it. And I remember always thinking, of course, lyrics weren't online then. You'd have to, one had to listen when the Beatstalkers were doing American R&B. You always had to listen very carefully to get the lyrics, but that's probably what they've done, and I don't. They wouldn't have changed it intentionally. They've obviously just picked that up. But I've always thought you're not singing the right lyrics.
That's hilarious. So what else? I mean, when you first heard the cover, what else kind of stood out to you about it? It felt a bit too kind of straight ahead. Kind of Green Day. I mean, I love Green Day, but it just felt a little. It felt like as if they were missing the sentiment of it a bit, it felt a bit straight ahead rock. That's the only way I could describe it. Mm-hmm.
I think I like it. Obviously you hear it at different times. I've heard it in different places I've been in, but yeah, I like it, but it's not. I don't think it has the kind of long lasting. Well, this is obviously I'm going to say that, but there's something in the Only One version that is a bit timeless.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Blink-182's version is in a particular era.
Yeah.
And I think it stays there. Whereas our version, it could have been released this week. And that's the kind of, when we got back together in 2007. A lot of my neighbours' kids who were 15, 16 had discovered. They didn't know that I was in the Only Ones, but they discovered it. And then when we got back together, there was quite a lot of press on the main broadsheets in the UK. And my friends' kids, neighbours' kids, they would say, "God, we didn't know this was you. We thought it had just come out." So that's. I think the Only Ones version has a timeless. It could be released any time. It doesn't belong particularly to an era. Whereas I think Blink's version, you can tell that it comes from a distant past era rather than just being released.
Yeah, and in that sense, I think their version also really does make the lyrics seem more literal, like they're actually about another girl, another planet, as opposed to your version. But I guess tell me about the writing of the song and where the song came from, and I mean what the experience was like to create this song initially.
Well, when I joined the band, and in fact it's nearly anniversary. It's 13th of August in '76. Was when I joined the band, and we just rehearsed non-stop. Fortunately, all of us were in the position that we could just. None of us were going out and having to work somewhere else. We were all able to. We rehearsed for 6 months, and I found it an exhilarating time. That I just loved everyone's attitude in the band, and the fact that everyone was only interested in the music. Nobody was caring about if the band was going to do this or do that or make money from it, it was all to do with the creation.
Mm-hmm.
And then Peter, obviously it was Peter's song. He's a wonderful songwriter. When he came in, he said, "I've got this song," and really from the off, it was more or less complete. Not a rate. Well, obviously we didn't. There's a long intro which just happened organically from rehearsing, but right from the off, I thought this is a fantastic song, and I just thought this is not. This is destined to be a very big hit. Really, it was. It had everything. As the lyrics, the melody, the chorus, and we really just rehearsed probably about 20 to 30 songs for 6 months. But Planet always stood out to me. And it was done through Peter had written it. I think that we all found the band very inspiring. So obviously Peter had written it within maybe 2 to 3 months of the band being completed. I think they were looking for a bass player for 6 months. And when Peter came in with the song, I thought this is fantastic. This is a wonderful piece of music. And then the long intro, just we didn't decide on that. It just that's how it. And the only ones, none of us ever told each other what they should play. We would never kind of say try this or try that. We would just all work on our own parts.
Wow.
And until it fell. We never ever did it ever. It would be, and then it would just organically keep developing, and we would tend to know when we've got the song, where it needs to be. It was quite an unusual way that we would never. Something I feel quite proud of in a way that we never had the inclination to tell each other what they should try or play.
Yeah,
so that long,
kind of all on the same page.
Yeah, the long intro just happened,
That's so cool. So you initially had this feeling that it was going to be a big hit, and was it immediately received how you expected it would be, or did it take a little while?
It's taken a long while, but mainly because the lyrics, everyone on the radio stations, or they just thought this song's about heroin,
right?
And of course it's I Look Ill or Space Travel's in My Blood, and basically the big radio stations wouldn't play it, even though they played Brown Sugar by the Stranglers and Brown Sugar by the Stones and the Stranglers as well. But Planet really got held up in the sense that Capital Radio was really, at that time probably one of the biggest, and Radio 1, one of the two biggest radio stations. They just wouldn't play it. So it didn't chart high up initially, but I think just in time it's gradually keeps appearing in people's top 100 or top 50 of all time.
It just can't be contained. It's too much of
I know
earworm.
That's the. I think the song is really, or the recording of the song and the recording has become, in a sense, the inclination that we all felt it. That I certainly felt that this was going to, it'd be hard to stop this as a single. I think, and of course, anyone who loves the song always says the same thing. But I think the recording and the song have become kind of more than just having a hit back in the 70s. That it's become a bigger sort of song, a bigger recording as things as time's gone on.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting that everything you just said about the lyrics, because first of all, I think it's so funny that back then they paid so much attention to lyrics that even a metaphor that might seem like it's about heroin, they would be upset by. Whereas now, I think so many of these subtleties go over people's heads. But I'm also curious, what is the song actually about then?
Well, Peter, again, at the time, even when Peter was writing things, we wouldn't necessarily say, we would take our own interpretation what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter always says that it's not about heroin. that is about, you know, a girl, or, you know, that. So that's Peter's, you know, in a sense that none of us would actually say, what is this about, Peter? But interviews that Peter's done, he said it's not about heroin. It's you know, a kind of metaphor for, you know, that's about a relationship or a girl, or I mean, that's, and obviously that is, you know, that's the case because it's, as we know, Peter wrote it. So that's but people just, again, radio stations and other people will probably just take their own thinking, well, I think it's about this or I think it's about that. But yeah, Peter says it's definitely about a relationship or a girl and not heroin.
Right. And also it's not about space travel.
No. Maybe in his mind. Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much for giving us some insight into this song and into its you know, its legacy over the years. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add, or if there's anything you want to promote for us to check out.
No, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. And I suppose the only other thing to say about it was that the actual recording that was released as the single was really started off as the demo. You know, that recording was all quite spontaneous on a 16-track machine out in the country. And then when we got the big record deal, we tried so many, thinking, we've got we've got plenty of money to spend on recording, and went into Basin Street Studio, but we could never capture the original recording, and that, you know, that the whole intro of the track was we all played it in a way that we hadn't played it before, but that moment of the magic of the track was captured, you know, in a smaller studio on 16 track. But that, I think we just once we tried to re-record it again at Basing Street Studios, we could it never stood up to the original demo.
That's amazing.
So then we worked on the demo, you know, brought the machine that was recorded on from the country into Basin Street, and, you know, transferred the 16 track onto 24 track just to do just to finish it off.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, you can really hear that. And that's, again, like I said, that's what it seems to be missing from the Blink-182 version and some of the other versions that have happened over the years. There's not that, like, spontaneity or that feel to the playing.
And also there's 2 drum kits on it as well.
Oh, really?
Because when we transferred the 16 track, we couldn't get the drums quite as clear as we wanted, and Kelly just said, "Oh, I'll put another drum kit on," because we were set up recording the album, and he said, "Yeah, I'll just put another drum kit on it," and we kind of thought, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, all the drum breaks?" He said, "Yeah," and he did. You know, so there's two drum kits on it. That's how sort of tight, I guess. Yeah. Kelly's playing was, but that always makes me, because I thought, you know, because obviously it was never done to a metronome or anything. It was just the feeling was right. But that adds something to it. There's 2 drum kits on it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
cool.
it seems like a very formative song in that sense too, now that sort of everybody has access to recording gear and is sort of open to experimentation and working with, you know, very little budgets or things like that. But I mean, if you didn't even have a record label yet, where did you even get a recording machine from? And sort of, you said that it was just all about the music, but what if nobody wanted to release it? I mean, was there any fear about that, or you just?
Well, we had Lovers of Today, the first single we did with Robert Ash. It was downtime at Basin Street Studios. He was a fan of the band, so any downtime, I think Lovers of Today cost £300 to record, and then we couldn't get the record deal, released that on our own label, Vengeance, and it did really well. You know, it sold several thousand, 20-odd thousand, and record of the week. So we kind of felt as if we had momentum, and you know, the 16-track studio in the country wasn't that expensive to hire for a week. You know, so So we were just thinking, well, we'll carry on, and then if people don't come on board, we'll just release it ourselves. So that was the way the band was and the way the band felt. And of course, fortunately, we were lucky that the time Planet, it was the release of Lovers of Today that gave us Record of the Week and all the main papers. So record companies came. By the time we were finished recording Planet, Someone Who Cares, a few other songs, Breaking Down, record companies, suddenly there was a lot of activity. People, Chris Blackwell kind of flew up to Doncaster to try and stop us from signing to CBS. So I think we did so much ourselves with Zena and Perrott as a manager that people got a sense of this band have got something. So it was, kind of cottage industry in a sense to begin with.
Right.
So it didn't cost an awful lot of money to get to the stage of having some great recordings. And that's what made them. I think once record companies heard, and of course by this time we're building a good following. We were getting a lot of response and from touring, and the combination of that and some record companies hearing Planet and the other recordings that we had done ourselves, then they really did come running after that.
Yeah, that is so cool. Wow.
Yeah.
What an amazing, life-changing song.
Yes, it really is. Yeah, it's it's just got everything. I think that I've always just everything, the vocals, the lyrics, and the attitude of the playing and the track. It's to me it's almost like that thing about everyone just playing their own part.
Yeah.
There's no other. My feeling was that in that recording, there's no other way this recording can be. It's a bit like you've created something that's the way it needs to be. And that's probably why it has lasted the way it's just four people playing at the best of their ability and singing and kind of got everything, I think.
Yeah, which explains why your fans are fighting the good fight and making sure that the people who've only heard the Blink-182 version hear the original as well.
Yeah.
Well, Alan, thank you so much. I don't know if there's anything else you want anyone to check out or anything like that, but
no, that's cool. I mean, there's a couple of things that the only ones, I don't know how things are for the future, but we do have a couple of events that we've got to appear at. So, who knows? We might be not touring again. I don't think that will happen, but maybe the odd performance I think has got the chance of happening.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, hopefully everyone wears a mask so that society can go back to normal.
Yeah, no. Well, we were meant to be playing on the 1st of April. We've got an award for Planet, actually. The timeless single, but we couldn't do that so I think that's been moved to the 1st of November.
Okay.
Shepherd's Bush Empire was but whether that'll happen, who knows?
Oh boy.
As far as what's going on with the virus.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
It's a strange time.
Crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly is.